Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, you must become the victor. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know we're not supposed to punch down on people with mental disabilities, but we're going to make an exception in this case because these people within the gaming industry are genuinely the worst and most irredeemable, low IQ, illogical people to ever exist. I mean, it is shocking that these people still don't understand why they're in the position that they're in. And at this Glaze Fest, which is basically an award show for them by them, they have some of the worst jokes we've ever heard. It's by the numbers, anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk rhetoric. It's just all of the same things that have failed over and over and over. These people are doing again as though it's somehow new or innovative or interesting. And I think that in this video, you're going to see just how shallow and how devoid of any substance these people truly are. It is absolutely shocking that they can continue the same sort of jokes, the same sort of anti-gamer rhetoric, the same sort of anti-Trump rhetoric, all the things that have caused them to fail and be humiliated and has led to the firing and layoffs of their co-workers, everything that we've seen time and time again that hasn't worked. They've repeated it here, and I just think that the one thing we can do is bring light to it, laugh at them, mock them, humiliate them, and that's essentially what we're going to be doing. So sit back, relax, and let's laugh at some absolute imbeciles who think that they're smarter and better than everyone.
Hatred is
well, you know this guy's retarded.
nominated for online Game
Award hosts say Elon and Trump to resounding applause and cheers. Okay, what's this?
My favorite games, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred is
well, you know this guy's retarded.
nominated for online Game of the Year.
Wow.
Get your hands together. Thank you, Rod. Of course.
Why is it that we can meme on Jeb Bush for saying please clap, but get your hands together because not enough people were clapping isn't the same thing?
That is a game that takes real skill.
It does. Yeah, and I'm not trying to flatter everyone here, but if I know one thing about this audience is that none of you had to pay someone to play Diablo for you.
You don't know that. I mean, I'm sure there are games journalists in there. I have no doubt they probably pay people to play their account.
It's hard to level up your own characters when you're dismantling democracy.
I feel like we're in good.
This guy is an absolute retard. I mean, we're talking like, how many generations of inbreeding did it take to create somebody this monstrously stupid? I mean, I'm gobsmacked here. Dismantling democracy. How is he doing that? By demonstrating and showing corruption, fraud, and abuse. That's how. Unbelievable. These people are just the worst.
Good company here, but just in case for the people online.
I mean, I guess this doesn't really matter, right? But like if it did matter, he bought things in Diablo 4, but it seemed like he played his own character in Diablo 4.
Right.
Whereas in PoE, he bought things in PoE and he didn't play his own character.
Right.
I mean, proof? Well, this is what the evidence is showing.
If you get mad at that joke, it's Greg Miller. G-R-E-G.
M-I-L-L-E-R. Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
Man. Okay, let's watch.
Yeah, and on top of that, GameStop shut down Game Informer.
And that one really hurt. I can't believe that. Of course, Game Informer.
So these people think that they're charming and that they're funny and that they're relatable. And the thing that's so interesting is that they're so unfunny. They're so unlikable. They're so unrelatable. It's startling that they don't understand it. They don't have the self-awareness to look at this and go, wow, I am really despicable. I'm really gross. Like, they don't have the ability to look at themselves and analyze, okay, maybe my jokes about F Elon Musk and F Donald Trump, maybe that's not the best thing to do. Maybe these sort of low IQ crass jokes that are meant to appeal to the lowest common denominator, maybe that's not the best way to go about this. Like, this guy works for something called Kinda Funny, and it's just shocking. He's shockingly anti-funny.
Was the best part of GameStop.
Okay, we're gonna watch this and just see what it... Like, I want to watch the entire thing because I actually think the entire thing is going to be even more cringe than just that clip.
Okay.
We're not gonna watch the whole thing.
Sit down!
Man.
This guy is such a disgusting freak. Can I just emphasize that again? I think that we need to bring back shaming. I really do. I think people like this need to be shamed and humiliated because they are just the absolute worst. They're unbearable, unlikable. They just don't have any redeeming qualities at all. And yet they have the audacity to go out there and try to bully, intimidate, harass, and try to big up other people, and it's disgusting. It really, really is.
Thank you. I didn't want to yell, but you made me. Now this is how the night will be run. You will listen to us and only us. Stella, take it away.
Never had this much power before, but welcome to the 2025 DICE Awards. I'm Stella Chung.
I'm Greg Miller.
This is painful.
You know, Greg, I think we're the last people left with jobs in games media.
That is correct. It is
You know, Greg, I think we're the last people left with jobs in games media.
I think we're the last people with jobs in games media. Well, that's something that can be remedied pretty quick. But isn't that an indictment of everything that you're doing and saying? Because the jokes that you're making, the sort of personality that you're putting forward, the anti-Trump, anti-Elon sort of, left-wing, degenerate, gross, unctuous, creepy vibe that you put out there, that's not worked for any of your, peers in the past. And if you're the only ones left and you're still doing the same thing, what does that say about you? What does that say? What does that say about you? It says that you are not fit for purpose, that you don't have the ability to adapt and learn, and ultimately, you're going to go the way of the dinosaurs. You're going to go extinct. And guess what? Gamers will be better for it.
That is correct. It is
We'll do our best to correct that. Don't worry.
Thank you, Asmund.
very bleak out there, but how are you doing with that?
You know, I'm actually doing okay. It was a little bit of a long January, but it feels like the first time I moved out of my parents' house. And, it's good to feel independence.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to, Stella, now that you're a free agent and you're out there, you could come work with us at Kinda Funny.
I mean this with my whole heart.
This guy works at a place called Kinda
I
Funny.
was just about to say that. It's so ironic.
It's kind of funny.
I am not that desperate.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
All right, next year when you're still unemployed, we'll see what's...
Yeah.
All right, okay.
No, it's not going to be 3 hours of this. It's just
my
a very
God.
short segment where they're speaking. It's like 10 minutes.
Thank God.
Well, before we get
If you
started,
guys really thought that I was going to make you sit through 3 hours of this dog shit,
Oh, thank you.
you're absolutely out of your mind.
Thank you.
Even IGN couldn't make people do it.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask everyone here to give yourselves a round of applause.
For what?
If you are in this,
Well, they're applauding themselves because they've ruined the industry. They've crippled massive IPs. They've alienated gamers and audiences. They've pretty much done everything they can to see their fellow, their fellows, their peers, get laid off or fired. Yeah, give us a round of applause. Ooh, we failed. Ooh.
room right now, that means you were responsible for creating some of our newest, best games of all time.
Oh, okay. Now everything makes sense. So a lot of the people that are here are basically just game developers, and this is an industry event where they get together and give each other awards.
Correct.
Okay. Well, now, all right. So basically, they set up a circle jerk event for themselves so
Correct.
they can give each other awards for the games that are popular in the corporate world, but nobody actually gives a shit about.
Yes. You
Okay,
got it.
great.
Like the Oscars.
It's literally a circle. Yeah, great. This is what a subreddit looks like in real life.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, or you may have just gotten lost in the casino and felt like you walked into a fancy Doctor Who convention.
Yes, if you are in fact a normal person, these are people who make video games. And no, none of us can get your nephew free V-Bucks.
No. If this is your first time at the DICE Awards, let us explain it to you.
Of course, it is basically the same as the Game Awards, except instead of Muppets like Statler and Waldorf, we have hundreds of disgruntled white guys.
Ugh. And just, well, casual racism from these freaks. Just throwing that out there, throwing a little racism as a punchline. Throw in a little anti-white bigotry with your anti-Trump derangement and your anti-Elon Musk and, yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, they don't want to send millions of dollars to LGBTQ causes overseas. They're dismantling democracy. These people.
So
just look. Is there even a black person in this entire midst? As they're making anti-white jokes, I don't even. Is there a black person? I mean, for people that are like, oh, there's so many white people. It's like, it's so weird. It's so weird the way that these people think.
this is the guy that runs the place called Kinda Funny. Man.
Isn't it shocking?
Oh man, we're gonna have to sit there. Yep, there we go. Oh God.
Just in case, before anyone online gets mad, please note that it was Greg Miller that made that joke. So that's GREGMIL.
They got it, Sarah.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. They're well aware of me online. Of course,
Yep.
we know you're excited for the awards part of our awards show.
Yeah, so that's why the producers have asked us to keep the show tight this year.
And they mean as short as possible.
Ooh, kind of like the amount of time Concord existed.
I don't know what that is.
And the show is over. We'll see you next year. It was a sad thing, but trust me, if you thought that was the worst joke of the night, strap in.
I have a feeling that that's the first thing that is kind of funny, because I can guarantee you that he will have jokes that are even worse than that.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
I can totally expect that. I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am honestly a little in awe of this audience. There are some very powerful executives in the game industry here tonight.
And to all of you, let me be the first to say,
I think that it's very illuminating, the problem with video games when you have a event here for the industry where there's a bunch of gaming executives at, and it's just a nonstop barrage of weird social messaging, political posturing, virtue signaling, and reverse quote basically just racism.
Yeah, there's no reverse racism. It's just racism. No, he's absolutely right, though. He's absolutely right. It's very weird that when you have all these industry executives, you have all these so-called bigwigs, that it's this weird, it's this off-putting, it's this gross, it's this left-wing, it's this degenerate. It's just this feels wrong. Like, I don't know if you can just feel it, but there's just something off about the entire vibe of the show, the people on stage, their unfunny jokes, the racism, the anti-Trump, the range. It's like all of it. All of it is just wrong, and it's weird. And these people, they don't understand why they can't resonate with gamers. It's because gamers aren't weird. I know that's going to surprise some people, but, you know, they may be a little weird, but they're not this level. Like, this is deranged stuff. These people are freaks. And there's a reason why they don't resonate with gamers at all. They can't understand why they're failing. They can't understand why their games and the messaging doesn't work. It's because nobody agrees with them. They're in a cult. They're in this little bubble, this echo chamber. But most people in the gaming community who buy games do not at all adhere to any of this.
Yeah, I really think that this is the kind of thing that you watch and you're like, every one of my bad opinions is actually accurate and I was right. It is. I wonder if they're going to give Dragon Age Veilguard an award.
That'd be
Stop
funny.
firing people.
Yeah. I know, we would love to keep it positive here, but you're making it really hard.
Like Nightmare
I can think of two people that probably will be fired. I've got a pretty good idea of two
I can concur with that. Two people that should be fired.
people that are probably going to end up getting fired. I don't know. You guys think of anybody?
difficulty hard. Like,
Yeah.
how much do these bonuses need to be?
So, you know what I noticed with these left-wing freaks? These mongoloid level retards. They find something to explain a problem. Like, I'll give you an example. During the wildfires in California, Moist Critical, I'm gonna bring him up as an example. He made a couple videos on it, and none of those videos were about the Democrat incompetence, the waste, the fraud. I mean, it just the shocking level of left-wing neglect and abuse and waste, and how, you know, the firefighters had like diversity quotas. Didn't mention anything about that at all, which is the core of the problem. It's a big problem. It's like these Democrats ruin everything they touch. They're an absolute cancer to anything that they're a part of. But he focused instead on the insurance companies. The insurance companies. That's what he did a video on it. He was scathing about the insurance companies. The insurance companies are to blame. It's like, yeah, the insurance companies are the ones that, you know, dammed up the water and basically prevented water from, you know, making its way down to farmers and making its way down everywhere. Yeah, it was the insurance companies that did that. It's like, no, it was Democrat left-wing politicians that ruined that state to the point where their radical, fanatical, you know, green worldview made it impossible for them to clear a lot of the brush, to do like control burns, things that you would think that a place like that would take care of, but no, because they're so left-wing and disgusting and degenerate and retarded, they didn't do any of that. They ignored it. In fact, they made it into their law that you had to do the opposite. But people like this, they'll use bonuses as a scapegoat. The reality is that bonuses are completely and totally irrelevant. Your games suck. You allow them to be written and greenlit and directed by left-wing, degenerate, bottom-feeding, gross freaks with a subversive mindset and an activist heart. And it doesn't resonate with anyone. It's all completely and totally gross. Nobody wants any part of it. And then, when it fails, these people crash out, they spurg out, and they blame everyone but themselves. The reason why there's been a mass layoff in the gaming industry is because they're making games that people don't want. They're trying to put their politics first. And unfortunately for them, no one's buying it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants their games that are filled with terrible writing, terrible aesthetics, lame storylines, bland characters that have pronouns and other disgusting weirdo crap. They don't understand that people don't want that. And when people don't want it, and it's obvious, they blame everything else.
That you keep laying these people off. Speaking of Greg Way, but
It's so funny that they still don't understand, like, that it's not about the bonuses. That's not the reason. It's because the games aren't selling. Like, people aren't buying the games because people like this make the games. People play video games to get away from people like this.
True. Boy, that's true.
Like, they have to deal with this asshole already at their job, and they're playing video games explicitly to get away from this person. And then this person injects themselves into video games because nobody wants to be around somebody like this. It's so obnoxious, right?
True.
And so this is what happens. Like, when people talk politics in game chat, yeah, well, no. I mean, that's preferable to this.
Bungie laid off hundreds of people last year, while the CEO of the company was apparently spending millions of dollars on old cars. I'll say this, it's rare to see an
Bungie. That's what happened with Bungie.
executive literally driving a company into the ground. And we're just getting started, everybody.
Yeah.
All right? So again, all I want you to do is just strap in. Because it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for everybody out there.
It's going to keep getting worse, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Because the people have woken up and they've realized that they can autistically screech loud enough and destroy an entire game studio.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna get worse for a couple reasons, because as these games don't sell, companies are gonna convince themselves that raising the price is the correct thing to do. And as they raise the price of these projects that people already don't want, because these studios are not going to adapt quick enough, there's going to be an apocalypse. It's going to be biblical for the gaming industry. It's going to be massive because people already aren't buying games at $70. You put it at $80, $90, or $100 for these games, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. The correct thing to do, from my point of view, is to put together teams that can keep the finances reasonable. And it's not something that's all that hard to do. Like, for example, Black Myth Wukong. The budget on that was, with marketing and everything, was like, what was it, like 70 million? It really was. I mean, in terms of gaming, it really wasn't that much. 70 million. If that. I think that was with marketing and everything. So, I mean, you can make games that are 40 million, 45 million. Like, you can do it. You can keep the budget down and create a good product. It's just that these companies are going to have to find quality, talented people that are able to do the job. And I think that that's been a huge problem, is because they've been filled with low IQ activistic scum for far too long. And I gotta tell you, the more that you bring those people on, the worse that it's going to get, the more bloated your company is going to become. And then you're going to have another Concord for 400 million that doesn't give you a dime of return on investment.
And now that the taste of that power has been felt, there's no going back. We've seen it happen, and we will make it happen again. With pleasure.
Right? And it's only going to get worse.
Wait.
Cheers to Shuhei. Cheers to you, Sel.
Cheers.
What is this? Drinking alcohol. Wow.
Just gonna put that.
It's its own shut. It's all
Okay,
you know,
all right.
cheap suit.
Yeah. Well, so speaking on that topic, I mean, the news has been really crazy. Look at Ubisoft. They got layoffs, they got scandals, they got hostile takeover threats. I mean, seriously, imagine if their games were that exciting.
Oh my God. They would be doing so much
So
better.
the first good joke is by the girl that's not the person who works at the company called Kinda Funny.
Yeah.
What am I surprised by? You know what I mean?
So much better.
Yeah, and on top of that, GameStop shut down Game Informer.
And that one really hurt. I can't believe that. Of course, Game Informer was the best part of GameStop.
Yeah, now unfortunately, the best part about a GameStop is leaving the GameStop.
Walking out, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was flat. Okay. There
Oh, God. Oh, man. Rough night.
I'm so sad I didn't get to react to this live. This is amazing. Oh my God.
Again, strap in, everybody. There was a lot of annoying culture war stuff around games in 2024.
Yeah, a lot of the talk revolved around...
This is a segment about me. This is another... See, I'm getting brought up indirectly. Like, obviously, I probably won't be named, like Voldemort. But you know, I'm not as important as apparently Elon Musk or Trump. We gotta work harder on that, guys. We gotta get these videos out. We gotta go to the White House. And like, man, yeah.
On women characters in games not being attractive anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I think about it,
She phrased it like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's not true. It's definitely true. It's observably, objectively true.
I have a very nuanced opinion on it, which is basically, who fucking cares?
Oh, is that your opinion? Well, the people buying the product, you freaking retard. You absolute Dunning-Kruger retard. The people buying the product care. Obviously, clearly. So if you don't understand that, if you're too stupid and too low IQ to understand that, then the correct thing to do would be for you to get the hell out of the way. Because there are a lot of people that do care about aesthetics. Very much so.
The people that made this show and the person next to you, that's why she's wearing this dress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. Retard.
Stupid idiot.
What a moron. Yeah.
How can you be that dumb? Like, who cares? It's a room temperature. This is amazing.
Room temperature IQ.
What is this cringe? This is amazing. Oh my God.
That's an insult to room temperature IQ takes. That's just basement dwelling retard level virtue signaling. That's what that is. That's all it is. It's just virtue signaling. It's virtue signaling because this guy knows that there's a reason why aesthetics work. This guy knows that the reason why his co-host is wearing a dress like that rather than in sweatpants and in a baggy sweater. He knows why she's dressed like that. He understands that. But to pretend not to understand why aesthetics matter is part of the virtue signal, which is just so pathetic because nobody is buying it. Literally, no one is buying it.
Is this discount Ricky Gervais?
No.
Not even.
No.
Really, not even.
Have these people seen a woman up close before? What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, we have. You're standing next to one. And, I think if you make characters look more like her and less like the ones in Concord, you wouldn't be having posts like that, and you wouldn't be having games failing like Concord did.
True.
That's the reality. And
Yeah, I mean, you have but to look at Marvel Rivals. Look at Marvel Rivals. Look at the success of Marvel Rivals. Yeah, it's obvious that people want aesthetically pleasing men and women. You know, the meme is like, they just released a new Captain America skin in Marvel Rivals. And they made the ass of Captain America a little bit bigger as part of a joke. And people were like, yeah, this is great. Now, it's not that anyone looking at it is gay. They're just enjoying the joke that it's an aesthetic choice. It's interesting. And, it's fun. It's funny. People look at Storm or Squirrel Girl and they like the look a lot better than the Avengers game from Crystal Dynamics. There's obviously a reason why aesthetics matter.
everybody knows it. And I don't like making, judgments on people's appearance or anything like that. But it's very clear that she's wearing a dress that accentuates the way that she looks. And I think that people appreciate that. This is something that people have done for literally thousands of years. It's normal. True. And so it's just like, do you have no self-awareness at all about this? Do you have no,
I think he knows. I think he just
this is outrageous. It's absolutely how can you be this ridiculously stupid? It's incredible. Oh my God.
No, I think so here's the thing. I don't think that this guy's stupid. I just think he's evil. I think he knows the truth and is saying the opposite because he thinks that that's what you have to say. I think that it's a virtue signal. I think he knows perfectly well why aesthetics matter. I think he understands it, but you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say these guys are gooners and chuds and, these guys are losers and, what they want doesn't matter. There's no reason why you need to make your characters attractive. I think this whole thing is one big virtue signal so that this freak with the goofy haircut can make himself feel better about the fact that he's not funny, he's not talented, he's not interesting, charismatic, dynamic. He has a failed career. I mean, nobody really gives a shit what this guy thinks about anything ever. He's probably not where he thought he would be at this age, and so it's bitter. It's sour grapes. It's, it's resentment. And so people who love gaming and enjoy it and want good aesthetics, he resents them for some reason because it's an opportunity for him to feel better than them. Stupid. Absolutely.
It's just virtue signaling? Yeah, but don't you think you could do it at a time that it doesn't seem quite as hypocritical? It's amazing. It's a script? Yeah, but they probably wrote the script.
Out everybody. But of course you can tell times are tough because Indiana Jones fighting Nazis in games is now considered political.
Yeah. you know what? Let's celebrate the good.
Of course.
Personally, we
That
are
was not actually the reason why people didn't like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones did relatively well also. It reviewed well, and the people that played it enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even something that happened.
Yeah, the game didn't do well because the IP has been tarnished to such a degree that people just don't really care about Indiana Jones anymore. That's the sad reality. That's just the sad truth.
It was political how? And also the reason why people were unhappy about Indiana Jones is one of the people that was talking about the game looked like your typical, like woke person with like dyed hair and it's like,
True.
weird haircut. And they said they're making it for modern audiences.
Yeah.
That's the actual reason why.
Yeah, there was a person that looked like, a freak, and they were promoted with the game. Yeah, that is true.
It wasn't political, but it wasn't reviewed well at all. Let's fact check it.
Yeah, you can.
Huh. Okay. Well, what a surprise that my remembrance of a number is in fact accurate.
Ooh. Yeah. No,
There are a lot of cases where, actually, no. There are very minor cases where I do get things wrong. Usually I don't.
so glad that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is nominated for 6 awards tonight.
Wow. So it's over 8. People like it a lot.
Including Game of the Year. Let me tell you, nobody, and I mean nobody, gets screwed out of awards more than a December video game.
Yeah, it's great for Christmas, but terrible for trophies.
Terrible for trophies, and this isn't even a joke. We just really like that game and want to call out the fact that it's great and it got a Game of the Year nomination. Come on.
I know. It really makes you feel like Indiana Jones.
It
You know
does,
what I
it
mean?
does, it
yeah.
does.
Also, Troy Baker, if you're out there, if you ever want to leave me voicemails as Indiana Jones, feel free.
Okay.
I get one. Come on.
You get one. You get as
Thank
many
you.
as you want. Don't
Thank
worry
you.
about it.
Thank you.
I see Rod Ferguson over here. Of course, one of my favorite games, Diablo.
Rod is in the audience. Oh, God.
Favorite games, Diablo.
Rod is in the audience.
Of course, Rod is in the audience.
Oh, God. Oh, no. He is, yep.
For Vessel of Hatred is nominated for Online Game of the Year. Get your hands together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rod. Of course, that is a game that takes real skill.
It does. Yeah, and I'm not trying to flatter everyone here, but if I know one thing about this audience is that none of you had to pay someone to play Diablo for you.
Here's how you know that's not true. Is that Elon Musk played Diablo 4 multiple times and he posted videos multiple times. Not even once did anybody call out his skill in the game at all.
Yeah.
Because it was so simple and so easy that anybody could do it.
Right.
So of all the cases of Diablo 4, because it was only really discussed, it was believable. It's like, wow, he's hitting the big button. Oh my God, he's hitting the big button and doing the big number. And this is on the level that's the big level. Ho, 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 ho.
It's hard to level up your own characters when you're dismantling democracy.
That's right. Wow.
What a retard.
I feel like we're in good company here, but just in case for the people online, if you get mad at that joke, it's Greg Miller. Greg.
Miller.
Nobody's mad at the joke. They just, it's sort of like watching a retard, playing their own feces. You're like, that's gross. It's not anger. Like, that's something that these people use. I'm not angry at that joke. It's just gross. It's like, ugh. Like, you don't want to go anywhere near that thing. You're like, I don't want to go near the person who's sitting in their own poop and just, like doing finger painting with it on the sidewalk. It's like, I don't want to go near that person. It's not a thing of anger. It's like, wow, that was really gross and really dumb.
Fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump.
Stunning and brave.
Yeah, speaking of which, a lot of changes.
This is the games industry that, again, these are the people that.
So the thing is, let me just put it this way. Getting mad at a statement like that is irrelevant. Because this guy, him and his entire mindset, his entire culture, his entire ideology is dying. People are being laid off left and right. All of the games with his ideas and his politics are being purged from the internet. I mean, Concord lasted what, like a couple weeks, if that. So it's not that we get mad. It's just watching a tantrum from a pathetic, soy-based, degenerate, low IQ, low value retard. And so you can say F Donald Trump and F Elon Musk. You can do that sad, tired playbook all you want. But in the end, all of your peers have lost their jobs. They've all been let go. All the studios that you thought held power have all been reduced to nothing. You know, Ubisoft and other companies that went on board with wokeness and identity politics, they're all they're all at their lowest point. They're all suffering and trying to scramble to undo the damage that people like you cause the industry. And so the only thing that I have to do, or Asmon has to do, is wait. Because the thing is, you need me way more than I need you. You need me, you need us, way more than we need you. And you haven't figured that out yet. So when you get fired, or you get let go, or you get bumped to, janitorial duty, or flipping burgers at McDonald's, you're only going to have yourself to blame, and I'm just going to be here to laugh. I'll make content at your expense.
That other people tried to desperately convince you aren't trying to put politics into video games. This is an audience full of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Yep. Wow. Who could have guessed?
Happened in the past year.
That's right. For example, the PlayStation 5 Pro came out last year.
This is true.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it's so powerful that Sony is almost ready to make a game for it.
Basically,
It's actually crazy that the only jokes that are kind of funny are from the person that doesn't work at Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. It's just, what are the odds, right? It's scripted, bro? Yeah, I know.
in 2024, Sony made a powerful PlayStation, so powerful, it had never been this powerful before. It was the most powerful PlayStation of all time.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and in 2024, Microsoft made Xbox more confusing than ever. That was not, come on.
I mean, I get it. Everything's an Xbox with the screen. I think it's cool, but whatever. Online people hate it. But of course.
Okay, that's a Greg W. At least he fucking understands. He's right about that. Xbox is the best publisher out there right now. Like, aside from maybe Steam, right?
We did finally get the big announcement. The Switch 2. It's huge. It's a huge deal.
I'm so excited. I mean, we're still waiting on a lot of the important details, of course.
Of course. It's expected to release later this year, and based on tariffs, it's going to cost about $17,000.
Still cheaper than eggs, but you know,
Still
it's fine.
cheaper than eggs. That is correct. Well, it'd be
good one.
easier to get than eggs
I know,
as well.
honestly. Yeah.
You know what's funny is that these people bring up the price of eggs because Trump used it as a campaign thing, so they think it's a gotcha on Trump. Until you realize that the Biden administration basically murdered, like genocided, like was like 100 million, like some insane amount of chickens. Like they went order 66 on all the chickens. It's like when you actually look it up, it's insane. The Biden administration killed like 100 million chickens, which is part of the reason why there's this price hike. But these people are so stupid, they just try to blame it on Trump because Trump mentioned the price of eggs. Which is true. It's entirely Biden's fault.
So another big story from the past year was a lot of companies have been trying to figure out how to incorporate AI into their games.
And Stella and
Oh
I,
no, here we go. Here's the AI. This is the obligatory AI being bad. Oh God, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
I actually have a very easy solution.
Yeah, ready? Don't steal my
I told you. It's just it's these people. It's like it's in PC programming, man. It's so sad.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, people like this make me feel really good. And to be fair, I think this girl is doing a relative. It's mainly this guy that's very obnoxious. The girl is okay.
Yeah.
People like this actually put me in a good mood because I realize that we're going to keep winning. Because
Right.
people like this are so obnoxious, so unlikable, so rude, so annoying that they just can't stop getting in the way of themselves.
True.
This is great.
joke.
Yeah.
Don't steal my line.
Don't put AI in your games. We stopped the NFT thing. We should learn from that mistake. We should also not do the AI thing, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but some of you in this audience are real heroes. As a resident of Los Angeles, and I know some of y'all are too, I want to personally thank each and every one of you who donated.
So there's a lot. This show's in California.
Makes sense.
So the problem with something like this is that there are just if you're like one of those, you know, they call them chuds, like this is like watching remember like whenever Alex Jones got into the Bohemian Grove and he's like, it's real, I knew it all along. I knew it. It's like confirming every fucking bias, every stereotype, everything that you could possibly do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Or put your game in a bundle or did anything to raise money to help with the fires.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank you.
The fires suck.
Of course, so many people did great stuff.
Let me guess. Now he's going to pivot to making a dig at Trump for something.
Let us give you one example. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is nominated for 3 awards tonight, and that's impressive on its own.
Oh, that's pretty good. They didn't do that. I'm surprised.
Even more impressive, a bundle created for Call of Duty raised over $1.6 million to help with LA fires.
All right.
And then Activision donated another $1 million. So let's give it up for them.
Good job, Activision.
It was just Activision's way of saying, we love you, Los Angeles.
Yeah, but also Treyarch's way of saying, we're so sorry that Peter Ackerman flew a drone into that plane.
What? I don't know about that.
It turns out you can't solve every problem with a joystick.
No, unfortunately. But also, sorry, Treyarch. We know he's not actually there anymore. Sorry.
But we also know it definitely came up in some conversations, so.
Yeah. But also nominated tonight is Balatro.
Yes. You already know, but Balatro is great because at its core, it's an addictively simple game.
Yeah, I know some of y'all are playing it right now on your phones. So. But describing Balatro to someone makes you sound like an insane person.
Okay, so it's poker, but there's like 50 jokers. And you can only use 5 of them unless, of course, you have a negative joker, which gives you...
Are actually, literally the lifeblood of this industry, and you are what makes it great. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
Let's get on with the show, everybody. It's
His
Dice!
face says it all.
I feel like this guy is like if you took Jack Black and you made him more obnoxious, more virtue signally, and you remove the charisma aspect, and then he wasn't funny. Like he's basically like the negative Joker version of Jack Black. You know, that's pretty much where we're at. And so anyway, Jack White, yeah, I guess so. But no, he's too cool for that. I don't even want to use. Yeah, absolutely not. And yeah, he's just Greg. And so this is a. I don't even know what to say, man. It's. I think this goes and it explains exactly. I see something like this, and every conspiracy theory that I have, and every partially complete but not completely justified bias that I have about games media and about video game, like the people that make video games, I watch this and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, it looks like I was right about everything.
Yeah.
Like it does. What conspiracy? I think that they all have all the same political views. I think that they inject those political views into the games. I think that they have these reductive and also fucking Luddite views on things like AI. They're extremely unlikable. They're not funny. You know, that's it. I feel so validated. Yeah, I do. I feel massively validated by this. And how long do you think this is going to turn around? Well, I mean, this show really didn't go very well. So if I go and I look at, where's the biggest, the most popular version of this? So this is, I guess, on IGN. So this is from 2022. We can look at that, 2024. And so let's go ahead and see how people reacted last time. So 2022, people generally liked it. 2024, people generally liked it. And then this one now, this is the new one that just came out, and people actually overall did not like it. So this is what happens when you do this. This is exactly what it is, and you can just look at it right there. They hate watched it. Yeah, it has 2 comments. Well, there we go. Greg Miller is the joke. Get it? Yeah, and so. And what's this? You'll get more views in less than half an hour. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like in general. But anyway, this is it's really sad to see it happen. It really is. But this is what happens when you make when you have an industry that's built in a bubble and the bubble is bursting. They're complaining about layoffs, and they don't realize that their attitude, their demeanor, and everything about them is the reason why the layoffs are happening.
Absolutely.
It's because they forgot they were selling to customers.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. They have forgotten that they're selling a product to people. They think that it's sort of like this. They think that they are owed your money and your time and your attention by the very effort of making a game. And that you should just be lucky that the game exists. Well, the reality is that no. No, you actually have to make something that's worth buying. And what they don't understand is that, you see, they have a very reductive view of the dynamic of power. You see, they think that somebody like Joe Rogan will influence the people watching the show, and to an extent that's true. But a lot of it is that people agree, and so they choose to support it. But if Joe Rogan were to suddenly come out with a completely different perspective and come out with a completely different demeanor, people would tune out. And that's what they don't understand. is that I may like Star Trek, but if you make a show like Star Trek Picard or Star Trek Discovery, I'm not going to watch it. I used to like Star Wars. If you make something like The Acolyte, I'm not going to watch it. And that's what these people need to understand, is that the gaming industry is on life support right now. You should be doing everything you can to clean up your image, to rehabilitate all of the most problematic elements, which are the left-wing elements, to purge those people from all of your ranks, cleanly, uniformly, get rid of all of them, and to come back and make a pledge to gamers that you're going to redouble your efforts on aesthetics, on storytelling, character design, and the fundamental nature of what enticed them to gaming in the first place. But, they don't want to do that. They just want to complain and lament and, make excuses. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today's video. It's a much, much longer one. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.